Subang case, a detailed chronicle of Yosep Hidayah's trial and appeal. 1. Background of the case. The Subang case, also known as the Subang murder case, garnered widespread public attention due to the involvement of close family members as the main suspects. The case began on August 18, 2021, when Tuti Suhartini and Amalia Mustika Ratu, a mother and daughter, were found brutally murdered in the trunk of an Alphard car parked in their home garage in Subang, West Java, Indonesia. Tuti Suhartini was the wife of Yosep Hidayah, a successful businessman in Subang, and Amalia Mustika Ratu was their daughter, who had recently completed her college education. The discovery of their bodies in such a gruesome condition immediately sparked an intense investigation by the police. 2. Investigation and identification of suspects. The initial police investigation indicated that the victims were killed through violent means. The autopsy results revealed blunt force trauma to the heads of both victims. The police also found several pieces of evidence suggesting that the murder was committed by someone very familiar with the victims and their home environment. Yosep Hidayah, the husband of Tuti and father of Amalia, became one of the main individuals subjected to intense police scrutiny. Suspicion fell on him due to several inconsistencies in his statements and the possible financial motives believed to have triggered the murders. The police also questioned Mimin, Yosep's second wife, who was suspected of having a strained relationship with the victims. After various stages of investigation, in late 2021, Yosep Hidayah was named the primary suspect in the case. The suspected motive was a family dispute that escalated into violence. 3. The trial process. The case then proceeded to court. During the trial, the prosecution presented various pieces of evidence that strengthened the suspicion of Yosep's involvement in the murders. This evidence included forensic results showing blood traces in the house matching the victim's blood, as well as witness testimony supporting the financial motives and family disputes as the background to the case. Yosep Hidayah denied all the charges against him. In his defense, Yosep and his legal team argued that there was no direct evidence linking him to the murders. Yosep also claimed that he was elsewhere at the time of the incident and had no involvement in the case. However, after a series of trials and considering the evidence presented, in early 2023, the lower court found Yosep Hidayah guilty of the murders of Tuti Suhartini and Amalia Mustika Ratu. Yosep was sentenced to life imprisonment. The verdict was based on the conclusion that Yosep had a strong motive to commit the murders and that the evidence was sufficient to convict him as the main perpetrator. 4. Appeal and legal struggles. Unhappy with the lower court's decision, Yosep Hidayah, through his legal team, filed an appeal with the West Java High Court. In their appeal, Yosep and his team reiterated that the evidence presented in the lower court was insufficient to convict him. They also claimed that there were several irregularities in the investigation and trial processes that should be reconsidered by the judges. The West Java High Court, after reviewing the case files and considering the arguments from both sides, in mid-2023, decided to uphold the lower court's ruling. Yosep was still sentenced to life imprisonment. This decision reinforced the belief that Yosep was involved in the planning and execution of the murders of his wife and daughter. However, the case did not end there. Yosep Hidayah still had the opportunity to file a cassation appeal with the Supreme Court if he felt the appellate court's decision was unjust. To this day, the Subang case remains under public scrutiny, with many awaiting the next legal developments in Yosep Hidayah's case. 5. Impact of the case and public reaction. The Subang case became one of the most high-profile murder cases in Indonesia. The media continuously covered the case's developments, and speculation about the motives and the mastermind behind the murders continued to circulate in the public sphere. Many expressed sorrow that this case involved close family members who should have been a source of protection, but instead became the setting for a horrific act of violence. The victim's extended family, especially from Tuti Suhartini's side, experienced deep trauma and continued to seek true justice. This case also highlighted concerns regarding the Indonesian judicial system, particularly how evidence is gathered and interpreted by the courts. Regardless of the final outcome, the Subang case will be remembered as one of the most tragic family tragedies in recent Indonesian history. In the investigation of the Subang case, attention has also been drawn to Yosep Hidayah's eldest son, Yuri's, whose behavior has raised some suspicions, adding complexity to the case. 1. Yuri's involvement in the management of the foundation. Yuri's was known to have a role in managing the Bina Prestasi Nasional Foundation, which is suspected to be one of the sources of conflict within the family. Reports indicate that there were disputes related to the finances and management of the foundation among family members, including Yuri's. Speculation arose that Yuri's might have a specific motive related to issues within the foundation, although this has not been legally proven. 2. Strange behavior and statements. During the investigation, some observers noted Yuri's behavior and statements as unusual. For instance, several witnesses reported that Yuri's appeared calm and not overly disturbed upon learning of the deaths of his mother and sister, which was considered odd given their close relationship. Additionally, there were inconsistencies in his statements to the police, raising suspicions that he might know more about the incident than he was revealing. 3. Questionable alibi. Yuri's alibi on the night of the incident also came under scrutiny. Although he claimed not to be at the scene when the murders occurred, some reports questioned the validity of his alibi. Several witnesses provided differing accounts of Yuri's whereabouts that night, leading to speculation that he might have been more involved in the events than initially believed. 4. Relationship with Yosep and other family members. Yuri's relationship with his father, Yosep, and other family members was also a point of investigation. There were suspicions that their relationship was not always harmonious, especially concerning family business matters and the foundation. This tension might have escalated into a larger conflict, eventually culminating in the tragic murders. However, as of now, there is no substantial evidence to charge Yuri's as a suspect in the case. The police continue to investigate all possibilities, and these peculiarities remain part of the larger puzzle that must be solved to uncover the truth behind the Subang case.